Do all these companies have the same processes for processing a disability insurance claim? The answer may surprise you. Hi, I'm attorney Ben Glass. I'm a long-term disability insurance attorney with a national practice headquartered out of Fairfax, Virginia. First, let's break this down. Generally speaking, there are three different types of disability policies we're talking about. One, a group long-term disability insurance policy. Number two, an individual short-term disability policy. Number three, a private or a policy that you bought on your own to cover long-term disability insurance claims. Now, as you can imagine, each of these has a different claim process, and there are lots of insurance companies out there processing claims, and they're all a little bit different. Now, if you have a group policy supplied to you by your employer, generally that policy is governed both by the policy language and by the federal law of ERISA. ERISA sets certain time deadlines that insurance companies and claimants must meet. And if you are prosecuting a claim under a group long-term disability insurance policy, you probably should talk to an attorney before you make the claim who is experienced in this field. And oftentimes spending money for a pre-claim consult will save you hundreds of hours of stress, save you from having your disability benefit claim denied, and actually save you a ton in attorney fees. Real quick, let's talk about short-term disability. These claims are generally paid with a lot less of a look. Basically, if you can't do your job, usually a short-term, you broke your ankle maybe, or you're pregnant, you can't go to work, you put in with your employer under their short-term disability insurance plan, and you get paid. Not a lot of rigorous scrutiny of these claims because they're typically short-term. Typically the money is coming from the employer, not the insurance company, and the insurance company is basically calling balls and strikes and telling the employer whether to pay the benefits or not. There's a pretty big difference between a group long-term disability policy and an individual policy. An individual policy is a lot better. Look, it's more expensive to get, but it usually provides a ton more protection than most group policies. So their claim process is going to be a little different too. First of all, they won't let you be insured unless you're generally healthy, and so there's that. Number two, the benefit under an individual policy is usually greater than what you get under most group policies, and so there's going to be a higher degree of skepticism at the beginning, even though you have this professional, quasi-professional relationship with the insurance company. Having said that, if your claim is denied under your individual policy, they will typically give you an appeal period, a chance to get the claim denial reversed. The difference is that this is not governed by anything other than the insurance policy language versus, now let me just talk about the group long-term disability insurance policies. So the federal law of ERISA sits over top of the individual language of any policy. As I said earlier, it sets certain guidelines in terms of time limits and what has to be reviewed, and if your claim is denied, what documents that you're entitled to. And in many senses, ERISA is more favorable to the claimant than an individual policy is, but the benefits in most cases are smaller than what you could purchase for an individual policy. Now look, I'm not trying to make this complicated, but it can be very complicated because most people don't read their insurance policies until they have a claim. That includes their automobile, their homeowners, and even their medical insurance policy. So here's the message. If you are thinking about tapping into either your individual or your group long-term disability insurance policy, the best money you could spend is money on a pre-claim consult with an experienced lawyer who will look at your policies, look at your medical records, and have a discussion with you about what your goals are, how long this sickness or illness do you and your doctors think will last, and what the ultimate financial impact will be to your family if you are unable to work and you don't get the benefits. That's where you go and spend your money. Please don't believe anything you see on the internet written by consumers or customers about this company being bad or this company being good. They are all honestly trying, I believe, to adhere to the terms of the contracts. All of the contracts are different. So if you work for one company and you have a group policy, that contract is likely to be different, even if it's from the same insurance company as the contract that a different employer has that you may go and work for. And again, most people never read these until after they make their claim and after the claim is denied. And that's frankly a little late in the game. So an experienced attorney can help you frame your claim so that the chances of the claim getting denied, if it is a legitimate claim, are reduced, and the chances of you stopping work if your claim isn't legitimate, if you just don't have enough medical evidence, is also reduced. Because the last thing you want to have happen is you quit work, You make a claim, so now you're not getting paid your wages, your claim is denied because your evidence isn't good enough, and now you're wondering how you're going to pay the rent, the mortgage, and buy the groceries, and that's a tough place to be in. We can help both with the pre-claim consultation, but also if your claim is denied, you can go to freedenialletterreview.com or BenGlassLaw.com. We are happy to help you, or just leave a comment in the video below, or just leave a comment in the notes below. We'll try to either create another video that answers that or answer it in the notes. Again, I'm Ben Glass, and for 20 years I've been doing this work all over the United States, helping people just like you get the benefits that they paid for and they deserve.